Hey guys, welcome back. This is Tony with Backwoods Biker Magazine again. We've got another mail call for the month of May. Hang tight. All right, guys. Got a little coffee going on here. You just have to excuse me. All right, we got some emails for you. Pretty good questions. So let me just start you right out of the gate here. I'm going to leave the longest one for last. This one comes from Jackson from Abilene. He says, what do you treat your knives with when out in the bush? I use two different things, Jackson. And one of them is a rag that is saturated with mineral oil that I keep in a Ziploc bag that you can see here. Does a good job. And then the second thing I use, and I probably prefer this. This is bush butter from Wood Tramp Gear, and the reason I prefer it, it's just something I've used since I was a little boy, because the formula is something my family created back in 1736 to the best of our knowledge that we can come up with. And the formula had been passed on down through the years, and we've had to modify it because back then they used, tallow from animals, beaver, muskrat, bear, whatever they had. But the problem with it was it would go rancid after a while, especially in the summer. So, what we've done is we've just kind of reversed engineered it and tried to replace some of those with some more stable type of natural materials. And this does a great job on any kind of knife or blade or whatever. And I mean, it's easy. This is a knife from Condor Tool and Knife, but all you do is just put this bush butter on here like that. It doesn't take a lot. Yeah, right there. And now your knife is protected, and I recommend it for anything that is high carbon steel, bud. That's for sure. This is a neat little knife. We just got this in. It reminds me of a Mora, but it's called the Pterosaur, and it's from Condor Tool and Knife. So those are your two options that I recommend. You can find yourselves a cotton rag out of a t-shirt out of your own drawer. Almost every guy has a jacked up t-shirt. And your mineral oil, you can go out to Walmart and spend a couple bucks and get that, and you've got enough material now to keep all your stuff oiled up, greased up, whatever you want to call it, for about 5 or 6 years. Or you can go out to woodtrampgear.com and you can get you a couple satchels of this. And I wish I could tell you off the top of my head what this costs, but it's very reasonable. And you get 2 pads of this in a satchel. And it smells good. And you can use it on just about anything that you want, from blades to leather to zippers. Protect wounds, somewhat of a sunscreen. I don't have time to tell you, so I'm going to move on. I hope that answered your question. Next up, this comes from Jesse from Spokane, Washington. And he says, I'm looking for some reasonably priced gloves. Is there a brand that you would recommend? I've tried the Wells Lamont, but I am unhappy with how they performed. Okay, I'm familiar with Wells Lamont, and I'm so familiar with them, I've got some right here. These are more of a utility glove that I'll keep in my truck, but there's no detail that you're going to do with this. It just protects your hands, and they don't form fit the hand very well. These are not well constructed gloves, but they'll do the job if you're shoveling, things like that, but Wells Lamont also makes a little bit finer glove, and I've used these for many years. This is their genuine deerskin gloves. Obviously they're nice and supple, and you can do more detailed work with this, but when you get these, if you choose to do this, now a pair of these gloves, wait a minute, these right here are about $12 a pair. These here are about $18 to $20 a pair. They are reinforced at the thumb where they come against the palm, but it's not a lot. And I'll be honest with you, I use these. I go through probably 2 or 3 pairs of these a year when I'm working out in the bush, just because of what I do with them. But the first thing that I do is I make sure that I use bush butter on these to help treat them and keep them from drying out, and cracking after they've been wet. you know, so this will saturate down inside of there, and the beeswax that's inside of it gets inside of the threads, keeps them from rotting out, you know, so those are good. But again, these are about $19 to $20 a pair. I like them, but I go right through them because they are so thin. All right. Now the third pair, and I just got hip to these. My wife come bringing these home for me from, of all places, Sam's Club. And these gloves have quickly become my favorite. They're called the Plainsman's Premium Cabretta Leather Glove, okay? And, you know, for me, they are the perfect glove for a bushman, for a woodsman that's out in the bush. You look at this huge piece of leather that goes from the inside of your forefinger all the way down to the back of your wrist to the back of the thumb. That is a huge piece of leather. When you're talking about working with an axe or a knife or whatever you're doing, this is the area that gets ripped up and tore up all the time. That's what I was saying about that. With these gloves here, that's the area that goes real quick. And you can see this area down here, you know, with this glove, even though I like this Wells Lamont, it's just tiny, man. I mean, it's about 2 inches long by about 1 inch wide. That's it. This here is about, I'd say, I'm just guessing, about 8 or 9 inches long. And it's every bit of 2 inches. And it's a full piece of leather that's in there that they've got it stitched up good. Hoping you can see that. Now, just like any glove, as I said, what I like to do is take bush butter and I really work this in. I'm not going to do the whole glove because it would take me a while to do this. But once I do this, I have pretty much guaranteed myself that these gloves are going to last me a lot longer than if I didn't, because once water hits them, and I do work out in the rain with these or out in the morning dew, if I'm hunting, whatever, setting traps, whatever might be your thing. And then you just work that in there, but you see the difference in the color? I'm hoping you can. Maybe you can't, but I'm hoping you can see the difference. But that'll actually start curing there, and then you just buff it out with a rag and it's got a nice color to it. So there's your answer. Now here's what's really cool about these. Not only are they awesome gloves, but my wife brought home a package of these, and you get 2 pair for 20 bucks from Sam's Club. So I sent her back out there on a mission. Get me a couple more packages of these, because I would like to have these gloves around to use forever. All right, so move on here to the next one. Do you have a military surplus store that you ever trade with? If so, what is the name and where are they located? That's Dell from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you, Dell, for the question, and the answer is yes. I've got one store that I deal with. It's called Military Uniform Supply Company, located in Pekin, Illinois. It's a USA American company that I actually went through their entire warehouse, and you know, they had so much stuff in there, it just made my head spin. And my first encounter with them, if you'll go back, you know, to the fall of 2018, we launched a video on the Woolly Pulley sweater, the British commando sweater from, you know, World War II, maybe even before that, that has the leather epaulets here, and also on the elbows. You got a pin patch if you want to put a pin in there, whatever. But my first encounter with that sweater was back when I was around 12 or 13 years old. Went to a garage sale and I bought a sweater for 25 cents or 50 cents. I don't remember. But it lasted me till I was almost 20 years old. And I used it a lot hunting, fishing, going out mushroom hunting, blackberry hunting, getting in the briars and ripping the sweater up. When I finally threw it in the trash can, it was like there was more holes than there was sweater left. And it lasted me many, many years. You can get that same exact sweater through them. They are the distributor for the United States. It costs you about 60 bucks for that sweater. We reviewed 2 of those, and everybody here loved that sweater a lot. You know, so you can get that there. But I tell you what else I like about them. Some of you are not going jee-haw on this, but that's just the way it is. They sell a lot of foreign military surplus at this store. I like that because I have found throughout the years that there are certain countries that have a certain piece of gear that's like, man, that's really awesome. The rest of what they got is crap. But you know, some countries make rucksacks and backpacks that are better than what you might find here in the U.S. Same thing goes with mess kits or canteens, you know, but you got to search for them. You got to know what you're looking for. But Military Uniform Supply Company, they've got it all, you know, and they don't keep restocking the same stuff all the time, you know. So what they do is they go over to Europe, they buy that stuff, and they just bring it here, price it up, and when it's gone, it's gone. So if you get on their website and you see something and think, maybe I want that, you better pull the trigger because it may not be available ever again, you know. So do that. You know, we've tried the sweater I told you, and another thing that we purchased was a 100% wool blanket, and it was either Swiss, it was Czech, or maybe it was even Polish. I don't remember, but it's the best wool blanket that we have seen coming out of Europe ever. Just, it's really a nice wool blanket. You know, it's a queen size blanket almost, and it's very, very thick, warm, does the job, you know, and it was only like $50, something like that. So that's pretty cool. So to answer your question, Dale, Military Uniform Supply Company, go to their website, Google search them, and you'll find them. They're a great company. They stand by their products. They've been around for a long time. Customer service is impeccable there, you know, so let them know that you heard something from Backwoods Biker, and they'll treat you right. They'll treat you right anyway. So with that being said, speaking of that, well, here's the, I was asked if we had any more of the Backwoods Biker Special Edition, the gear review edition with all the gear in it. And here it is in here. We got some magazines left, but we have less than 50 of these left. And they regularly sell for $15. These I'm selling for $5 just to get them out of here for those of you that want them and the shipping. But the sweater I told you about and the blanket is right there. Let me just look at this real quick here. Let me see here. Norwegian. This is Norwegian. It's 60 by 77, but the Woolly Pulley sweater's in there. All kinds of stuff is in here. Knife of the year, shelter of the year, bush stove of the year. A lot of stuff to answer your questions. The Kelty Tactical Fieldcraft Poncho. I've been asked about that. Been asked to do a video on that. Here's the article on it. It's very, very cool. So listen, if you would like to have one of these magazines, here's what we're going to do. There's an email down there. That email's down there for two reasons. Number one, we want you to subscribe, share, and like the video. When you become a subscriber, email us and just say, I've subscribed, and we're going to put you in the database for free gear. And every month, your name will stay in there forever. Every month, we pull out 1, 2, 3, or 4 names to give away knives. We give away bush butter. We give away fire kits. We give away sharpeners. All kinds of stuff that we give away. But we got to have your email address to be able to do that. And also, whatever gear that you get, whether it's an axe, a knife, a sharpener, whatever, you have to pay the shipping on that. Okay, so whatever the shipping is, we just pass it on to you, and we'll let you know in the email, this is what it's going to cost you to get this particular free piece of gear. Okay, so do that. And the second thing is, if you want a copy of this magazine, email us and we'll send you an invoice for it. It'll be $5 plus the shipping, so this magazine is going to cost you about $10. You know, it's less than $10. I'll just say $10 to cover it, you know, so I'm not getting ugly emails. But it's a great catalog. I mean, it's more than just a magazine. We got a Les Stroud interview in here, and we covered just about everything that you can imagine, man. The crossbow of the year by Jerry Goff at Hickory Creek Archery down there in Mississippi. So that's going to be it for now. You know, this is Tony with Backwoods Biker. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to hear from you soon. Until next time, you ride free, you live free, and as always, you be safe.